The New York Yankees might have the perfect infield replacement waiting for them right now in AAA with Jesus Rodriguez, who so far has been one of the most impressive hitters at the AAA level this season, and is someone who could provide some valuable Major League at-bats from the right-handed side for a Yankee team that has really lacked production at the third base position. With his excellent bat-to-ball skills, his brilliant plate discipline, and a seemingly strong arm at third, the Yankees might be able to get production out of Jesus Rodriguez, and given what they currently have in the infield, they desperately need someone that can produce more than what they've gotten. And we're going to talk about the Yankees' third base issues. We're going to talk about the infield issues. And we're going to talk about why Jesus Rodriguez could be a productive player. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn that notification bell to check out Fireside Yankees and all of the content we have on our YouTube page. Really appreciate your continued support. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. Jesus Rodriguez is someone who has a really abnormal profile for someone like, Jesus Rodriguez, who is a catcher and third baseman. You expect a little more power, a little more swing and miss, and not this super patient and not patient, but super, just kind of elite and advanced approach at the plate. I was surprised to see Jesus Rodriguez's data this season because the numbers have been really, really impressive. Jesus Rodriguez is in the 89th percentile in Seager, which is a plate discipline or swing decision evaluation metric, and that is despite Rodriguez ranking in the 22nd percentile in chase rate. He is very aggressive when it comes to swinging at pitches in the zone that are hittable, and he takes advantage. He generates a lot of line drives. He has a 33.3% line drive rate. He is someone who's going to be a hit machine, and he still works his walks because when he has an opportunity to work a walk when he's ahead in the count, he will do so. He won't swing himself out of a count. He will swing at pitches to hit. He will still hit pitches out of the zone. He is really, really good at doing a lot of things that I think will translate very well to the Major League level in the contact department. He's in the 98th percentile in zone contact rate, and he's in the 91st percentile in whiff rate against secondary pitches. Furthermore, his damage rates are pretty solid despite having, not phenomenal batted ball data. He has about a 5.5% barrel rate. He has a 38.5% hard hit rate and an 88.3% average exit velocity. But he's doing this while hitting the ball in the air a lot. And he's also doing this while generating sweet spots. Sweet spots are launch angles that are ideal for a hitter. Those are the launch angles you want a hitter to generate. They often result in hits, and so that's why that's really valuable. And if you look at Rodriguez, he has just done an excellent job of spraying the ball across the field. And that makes me really encouraged by his ability to be a big league hitter. His 388 expected weighted on base average is one of the better marks for hitters in AAA. When you look at the guys who have high expected weighted on base averages and aren't, older dudes, Bobby Dahlbeck's here, Anthony Siegler's here, former Yankee farmhand, Mickey Casper, another former Yankee farmhand, but those are guys who are a little bit older. You have hitters such as, Owen Casey, who has a 374 xWOBA and is considered one of the better prospects in baseball. Harry Ford is a top 100 prospect, 373 xWOBA. You have someone such as Matt Shaw at a 398. Jesus Rodriguez slots in there at 388. So, he's one of the better hitters at this level. He's 23 years old. This is his first taste at the AAA level. And I really do like the approach he has. He's very, very aggressive in zone. He's going to swing at pitches to hit. And he's going to provide a profile that I think fits kind of what the Yankees need, which is a high contact hitter who is going to get on base and can do damage on pitches that are hittable. He kind of has this perfect approach for the Yankees at the bottom of the lineup. And when you look at what the Yankees currently have in their third base room, or kind of with their four, question mark infielders, and I consider those guys to be Oswald Peraza, Yorbit Vivas, DJ LeMahieu, and Pablo Reyes. Those four guys have been really bad for the Yankees. They have combined for a negative 0.7 fWAR. They've hit 168 on the season. They have 5 home runs, a 50 WRC plus. They have not hit. They have really, really struggled offensively. And, it's tough to try and win baseball games when that's the production you're getting from those four players. I don't think that these four players are guys you should be relying on as everyday starters. And with Jesus Rodriguez performing really well in AAA and being on the Yankee 40-man roster, I do wonder if he can immediately provide an upgrade. For those who are unaware as to how WAR works, WAR stands for wins above replacement. The replacement is the replacement player, and the replacement player is this idea that a player that you just call up from AAA should be capable of producing about 0 WAR. If you're producing negative 0.7 WAR from this group, mathematically speaking, the call-up of Jesus Rodriguez should present an upgrade over what they currently have, because Jesus Rodriguez is a quality AAA player. He's one of the better AAA players, and he would be what I would believe to be at least a replacement level player. If he is a replacement level player and that's all he is, it's not a great outcome in terms of, you don't want to put a feather in your cap over that prospect outcome, but it's an upgrade over what you're getting right now. And the upside here is that Jesus Rodriguez is capable of being, a league average or slightly above league average hitter, while doing enough defensively to not lose his job there. What I really like about Rodriguez and what he brings to the table in terms of his exact fit on this roster is that he is really, really good against left-handed pitchers. Left-handed pitchers have bedeviled the Yankees at the position because of the fact that they just don't have what I would consider to be a lot of support there. Like, they don't have a lot of guys who I think can hit lefties, and because of that, you put yourself in situations where you've got to rely on this team to put together, for lack of better terms, you have to hope this team can put together at bats against lefties at the bottom of the lineup that they're just not going to do. Jesus Rodriguez at the AAA level this season has been really, really effective in these situations as a right-handed hitter. Now, the numbers in terms of expected numbers aren't, eye-popping, but the results are really good, and the expected numbers are still good enough. He has a 338 expected weighted on base average, a 421 weighted on base average. He is barreling 6.5% of batted balls against left-handed pitchers, and if you look at his slash line, it is really, really pretty. He's slashing 351, 405, 595. And again, not a lot of whiffs here, 16.5% whiff rate. I just think Jesus Rodriguez brings this kind of profile where he should perform well against lefties. His bat might play better at Yankee Stadium because he might have more opposite field fly balls that go out there that aren't going out in Scranton. And also, I do wonder if he's going to hit for more power playing at the big league level, where maybe he's a little more comfortable getting big swings off. I really do like the fact that Rodriguez does have this kind of hitterish mentality. I think it's a contrast to what the Yankees have at the major league level, and it's not to say that I don't like power hitters. You guys have seen my work. You guys have seen me over the years. I am a big proponent of power hitters, but if you look at what the Yankees don't have, it is someone who, at the bottom of the lineup can just kind of put the ball in play and do a job. And you don't really trust Oswald Peraza to do that. You don't really trust DJ LeMahieu to do that. When those guys put the ball in play, bad things usually happen. They hit into double plays because they hit the ball into the ground so frequently. Jesus Rodriguez doesn't have the lowest ground ball rate in the world, but I do trust him to avoid hitting into double plays at the rate that other guys have. He has hit into 2 double plays in 33 games. Granted, the average defense at AAA is way worse than the average defense at the Major League level. I wouldn't expect that number to remain that low if he played Major League opponents. And I do recognize that 426 BABIP is way too high for him to sustain the 373 average he has right now. But I also think that we should give credence to the fact that he is really, really good at generating launch angles that result in base hits. Again, we talked about that sweet spot rate. It's batted balls, by the way, between 8 and 32 degrees. He has been a monster in that regard. He has been able to just generate the perfect, launch angles to get hits. This is not a hitter who is, going against analytics. This is a hitter who has found a modern way to hit at a high level, and he has done nothing but hit at the minor league level. If you look at his numbers since the pandemic, in 2021, he had a 121 WRC plus. He slashed 294, 397, 413. In 2022, he didn't play a ton. He only played in the complex league, and in that year, he had a 174 WRC plus, 348 average, 434 on base, 576 slug. In 2023, he played in single A and high A, 310 average, 399 OBP, 450 slug, 134 WRC plus. Last year in 2024, he played at high A and double A. He had a 145 WRC plus, 302 average, 375 OBP, and a 481 slug. This year, again, he has a 325 average, a 406 on base, a 403 slug, and a 126 WRC plus. All he has done is hit. He has done nothing but hit, and you just wonder if that's going to translate to the next level. If the guy who does nothing but hit is going to just do nothing but hit at the big league level. And I think that the bat is the place where I have the least amount of questions. He's projected for a 97 WRC plus. I'll take that over what we're getting at third base right now. What I think presents the massive question is whether defensively he can handle third base. And I will say, Jesus Rodriguez has a remarkable arm. He has fired off the rows north of 90 miles an hour while playing third base, and the Yankees have played Jesus Rodriguez at third base more and more. He has played way more games at third base in the month of May than he did, I believe, in April. I don't think he played a game at AAA at third base until the month of May, and in that stretch, he's played, I believe, 9 of his last 17 games at third base. I don't think that's a coincidence. I really don't think it's a coincidence that Jesus Rodriguez is playing more games at third base in May, with the Yankees knowing the issues they have in the infield, and with the Yankees kind of admitting by moving Jazz to third that the third base market is not very good. There are not a lot of good third basemen out there that the Yankees are going to be able to just acquire on a whim. So I think that's the Yankees admitting, hey, we know that third base is going to be a hard position to get an upgrade at, but if possible, we can maybe find one internally, or we can move Jazz to third and acquire a second baseman. Jesus Rodriguez, though, look, I don't think he's a stellar defender at third, but he has enough range. He moves well enough laterally, and he's got a great arm. I think that's going to translate. I just wonder if maybe there's an adjustment period, and maybe if the Yankees aren't comfortable with that adjustment period also occurring at the major league level. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Ben Rice and first base, where you weren't really sure if Ben Rice was a first baseman, but he was kind of what the Yankees didn't have enough at third. They needed someone to come up and see if they could do anything. Ben Rice came up in around June when Anthony Rizzo went down with that arm injury, and we're getting close to that point in the season where Ben Rice came up last year. So I wonder if we see the same with Jesus Rodriguez this year, where the Yankees go, all right, I mean, enough's enough with Pablo Reyes, enough's enough with Yorbit Vivas, enough's enough with Oswald Peraza, enough's enough with DJ LeMahieu. These four guys are not cutting it. We need to bring someone up and provide some support. And you look at Yorbit Vivas, kind of this cautionary tale, because Vivas was also pretty solid in AAA this year, came up and hasn't really translated to the major league level. The one difference I'll say is that I think Rodriguez has a better combination of raw power, contact, and plate discipline. I think he's just a better overall player and a better overall prospect. I ranked Jesus Rodriguez in my top 30 going into the year. I did not rank Yorbit Vivas in my top 30 going into the year. But again, I did recognize that Yorbit Vivas, the contact and plate discipline, there was a chance it translated at the big league level. It just has not. And there's also, Ben Rice as the opposite side of that, where Ben Rice has been this really impactful player for the Yankees, wasn't a top 100 prospect. And sometimes guys pan out, sometimes guys don't. I am curious to see if Jesus Rodriguez gets the call. I'm curious to see if he's someone who can contribute for the Yankees in 2025. And more importantly, I'm curious to see if the Yankees are going to be aggressive enough to try and make a change, even with Jazz Chisholm coming back. I imagine the move when Jazz Chisholm comes back is sending down Vivas or DFAing Reyes. But if you set down Vivas, you can still designate Pablo Reyes for assignment. I don't think he's necessarily a need on this roster. And if you were to designate him for assignment, you could have Rodriguez come up. The only conflicting issue here is that Giancarlo Stanton seems to be closing in on a rehab assignment. He's going to take batting practice for 2 weeks. And I say issue. It's not an issue that Giancarlo Stanton's coming back. It is a good thing for this team. If they utilize him properly, and if guys slow down, and if they don't, force him into the lineup if he's struggling, etc., etc. But I also recognize that they need infield support, badly. And I also am not letting DJ LeMahieu or Oswald Peraza stop me from bringing up someone like a Jesus Rodriguez. They simply don't have enough good players. They don't have enough good players in the infield to let them block other players. They should treat guys like Peraza and Vivas and LeMahieu and Reyes as guys that they can DFA for better players, because these guys have not produced. I know LeMahieu is someone who has decent underlying metrics, but he had decent underlying metrics last year and was bad. And that's what happens when you're slow and you hit everything to the opposite field. You're not going to hit. His WRC plus of 44 is lower than it was last year. His xWOBA of 298 is lower than it was last year. I don't even know why I said the underlyings are decent. They're not. They're really bad. I think I'm just looking at the barrel rate and the exit velocity. I wasn't really looking at his strikeout to walk rate. His strikeout rate is up to 24.4%. His swinging strike rate's up to 11%. I don't think we need to see DJ LeMahieu at the big league level anymore. I really don't. And I will say this too. I don't really think the Yankees are making a wise decision by having Jazz play third to accommodate LeMahieu. They should have Jazz play third to accommodate a trade acquisition, but it limits the ability to bring up Rodriguez and play him at third and just have Jazz at second. So again, there's not really a infielder on this roster that's rotating between second and third right now that I really would like to, that I'm really looking at and going, yeah, I don't think Jesus Rodriguez could outplay that guy. I think Jesus Rodriguez could outplay every single player that is currently on the Major League team that is playing second and third right now. Without Oswaldo Cabrera there, it has really caused that position to bottom out. And I don't think the Yankees should continue to just be okay with having absolutely rancid production at the position. It's not like they're getting league average production. If they're getting, an 85 WRC plus and good defense, that's what, Oswaldo Cabrera basically provided, that's fine. You can win baseball games with that, because that type of player is a player who, isn't going to impact the game a ton, but also isn't going to be a net negative. and you can win with that. We talked about it in the offseason. Not adding an infielder would have been really bad. We're seeing the fruits of that, or not really the fruits of it. We're seeing the after effect of not going out and getting an infielder. But I will say the Yankees have won games in spite of it. It's not a issue where I'm going to start sitting here and saying Brian Cashman should lose his job over it. It's not something that I think is crippling the team. It's just something that's holding them back a little bit from when they cool down, potentially being an even better team. And look, I look at this roster right now. They're 35-20. I look at this team as a team that should win the division handedly. I look at this team as a team that should compete for the World Series. And you can't leave stones unturned. You can't leave holes in this roster. You can't let third base remain the issue it has been. And Jesus Rodriguez might present an internal option who helps you. But again, you know, if you don't want to use Jesus Rodriguez in that regard, if you want him to be more of a trade chip, I understand. I just think that the current guys at the major league level are simply not good enough to block Rodriguez. But I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know you guys are very opinionated, and I love getting all your opinions and hearing what you guys have to say. Should Jesus Rodriguez come up? Should he be someone who comes up and displaces a Peraza, a Vivas, a Reyes, a LeMahieu? How do you feel about the Yankee second base and third base room? Do you think Jazz Chisholm should be playing second or third? There are so many infield conversations and questions to have. We really would love to know what you guys think, again, in the comment section below. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and checking out Fireside Yankees. Again, the way I view things right now, Jesus Rodriguez is just better than what the Yankees have at the major league level. Again, they've combined for negative 0.7 WAR. If you look at LeMahieu, Vivas, Peraza, and Reyes, and the Yankees should never be trotting out a negative 0.7 quartet to supplement their second and third base position. So again, that's my take. Again, love to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Check us out on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and of course this YouTube page. EmpireSportsMedia.com has written coverage on all of your favorite New York sports teams, including but not limited to the New York Yankees and of course the New York Knicks. Go Knicks. I know we're down 3-1, but go Knicks, baby. Knicks in 7. They're not going to win in 7, but I'll dream. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Let's go Yankees.
Perfect.